Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Auburn Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and broadcasted live by local access programming. Is there anyone here in the audience tonight that is recording the meeting? There being none, please rise and join us in a salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
This time, I would like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed, this evening without first being granted my consent. If anyone wants to speak from the audience, whether it be a representative or a homeowner or a resident, please go to the podium so we'll hear you clearly. The first item on our agenda this evening is applicant Modern Structures Incorporated requesting special permit under Section 5.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a hammerhead lot at 92 Tinker Hill Road, map 59, parcel 5. Is there anyone here representing the applicant? Please identify yourself by name.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, and audience. My name is David Sadowski. I'm the principal of DJ and Associates. I'm here representing Michael Pham, the owner of the property in question that is seeking the special permit with the hammerhead lot tonight. Would you like me to make my presentation, or do you have anything else to say, Mr. Reagan?
No, it's Regan, but please make your presentation.
Sorry about the mispronunciation, Mr. Regan. We feel that we have presented ample information regarding having the board approve the special permit for a hammerhead lot at 92 Tinker Hill Road. The lot has 11.5 acres. We show the circle that would fit, that would be the required frontage of the area. Actually, we've enlarged the circle to be a 200-foot circle instead of the 180. We have a 50-foot right-of-way that goes all the way back. It does not narrow at all. It was at one point going to be proposed to be a cul-de-sac. We've scrapped that idea. It's become too expensive. What we are presenting is ample information. We feel we show position of a house, position of a possible septic, and access way to the house.
I don't have a scale, and the plan's not the scale in the half size, but how far is it from the well to the proposed septic area?
Well, the circle is 100 feet around the well.
And I believe in the town laws, you have to have a designated area for a reserve for a septic system.
I believe you're correct, sir.
That's not shown on the plan. Is there anyone from the audience that has any comments or questions? Seeing none. Todd, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Steve?
I wanted to know if the fire department and chief of police had anything to say, if they've reviewed this.
I did send this plan and the other plans to both departments, as well as Board of Health and Building Commissioner. I have not had any comments from them at this time.
Ronnie?
Other than the well and the septic having a proper separation, I'm fine with it.
I have no questions.
Okay. So,
If I could, Mr. Chairman, through you, of course, I don't say primary septic area, I say proposed septic area, which could include a reserve, because it does not specifically say this would be the primary.
true, but the proposed area you have designated on the plan is the size of the septic system that would be required for that home. So you have to designate it on the plan. Secondly, is that going to be a paved driveway in or just gravel?
This one's just got proposed.
Chairman, this is Mike, Michael Farm, the owner of the land at Tinker Hill Road.
This is-
Driveway's going to be 15 feet paved in as required by the Highway Department, and then it's going to be gravelled all the way through, and it's going to be paved in front of the house again.
It's hard for me to read the plan, but what's the slope on the road? You got 718 near the road, and then you got 698?
Excuse me,
Out of the
sir,
corner?
it's not a road, it's a driveway.
Okay, semantics. It's 10 feet of pitch, and how far is that?
This distance is 460 feet at 10 feet of pitch.
So how do we keep the road washing out from a severe thunderstorm? Or driveway, excuse me.
Sir, I was trying to look through your bylaws. I really didn't see too much written down about driveway anywhere in the zoning or the subdivision regulations.
No, but with the slope of the road and the way the contours are, it could wash into House 106's lot or House 102's lot. How do you prevent that?
Sir, I suppose if the board required, there could be side slopes put on either side to catch anything that could come off of the roadway surface, sir.
Well, the slope isn't going to help. You'd have to put a swale in on each side. of
Swale
the
would be
road.
off to the edge, sir, and there would be pitch to the swale. A profile could be drawn to show you that if you'd like, sir.
That would, well, profile and a cut. A section of the road would be, driveway would be nice, because this is the long ways in. I mean, it's 400 feet to the corner, and you got another, what, 150 feet to where the house is going to be, so it's like 550 feet roughly, total length of driveway?
That would be correct, sir, and that's usually typical on something that's over 5 acres. It usually does take a while to get into the lot, sir.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a long road, and there's a lot, and the slope is very steep, fairly steep in there. I mean, just look at the contour lines behind House 106, you go from 716 to 710, and that's probably less than 100 feet. That's 6 feet. That's pretty good pitch in 100 feet.
6 feet at 100 is only 6% pitch. Minor roads are allowed to be 8.
I understand that. It's still steep for water runoff.
So anything over 1 foot is steep.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just here to protect the people on either side. So if this gravel driveway washes out, they don't wind up in their property. So I think provisions have to be made to take care of that.
Sir, the developer has just informed me that if the board would so request, we'll pave the road, or, excuse me, the driveway, the distance it is along the other people's borders, and then after that, we'll go back to gravel where it's our property.
While you're dividing line between that property and the next one over, I believe that's the property line that has the coordinate 38 degrees southwest, the 847 feet, 0.56 feet from the corner there.
Correct.
That's a property line, right? Is that a property line?
You're correct, sir.
So when the water runs down the gravel road, past these people's houses, it's going to hit the corner. And where's it going to go from there? It's going to go right into the other guy's lot. And you're not allowed to increase the water runoff from your property to somebody else's property. It's not allowed.
Could you, can I bring my plan up to you and you can point that out to me specifically, sir? I'm not understanding you.
Can't bring the plan up, can we?
Do you have a full-size plan, sir? Perhaps you can see better. Surprised you don't. They were submitted to the board.
So we only get half size. So when the water runs down, say you have it paved from here to here, right? That only increases the water runoff from 15 feet in to this corner, which means it adds speed. So it's going to hit this corner, and it's going to fade off this way.
And we own both these two lots, sir.
You own this lot now, but you're not going to own this lot. It's going to be another home, right?
Through the chair, it's going to be another family member, sir.
It doesn't matter if it's a family member. If they sell the property, the next homeowner's got to deal with it. Can't have more water run on the neighbor's property, whether you own it or not, and it's running off now. That's a town bylaw. That's a state law.
For a driveway?
For any work on a piece of
Sir,
property.
I'll submit that any lot in town is a driveway that increases water and runs into someone else's property.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'll give you $1,000. I'll give you $1,000 of my.
Has to have more runoff.
I'll give you $1,000 that I have in my pocket right now if you can prove that my driveway runs onto somebody else's.
I didn't say yours specifically, sir. I have 5,000 in my pocket.
I don't care. You cannot increase the water flow to someone else's property. I'm not going to argue with it. It's a law. Please step back. Take your plan with you.
Why don't you keep this?
I don't want it. I don't need it.
I think you do.
I don't need it. Is there anyone else in the audience that may have a comment or on the board?
Mr. Chairman, if I might ask a question through you.
Sure.
Is there a potential, in absence of any comments from the fire department, is there a potential that the paved driveway, the driveway can be paved instead of gravel and can be widened from the shown 10 feet, a little bit larger? The average apparatus for fire departments is 10.5 to 11 feet wide. So if they have to respond in an emergency, they're going to be delayed getting down this driveway.
So my intention is to make the gravel road 15 feet, but if I have to pave it, I'll pave it 13 feet. So that way, my family will be living down there, and if there is a problem, I definitely want them to be safe, so. And then as for the water runoff, if I have to do a swale on the side to catch the water, so that way, to maintain the water from running onto someone else's property, because I'm a builder, so I don't want problems down the road, so I want to make sure that the road's not going to be washed out, Chairman. So that's my intention.
It's a special permit, so.
Okay, the way I'm reading this is one plan, which is showing for Lot 7, is a 12-foot wide gravel driveway, and the other, Lot 8, that is shown as a 10-foot wide gravel driveway, so it's different than the dimensions that you're giving us.
Correct.
So is our plan correct, or are the dimensions you're giving us correct?
The dimension is correct, but as I was walking the road, once we got approved, my intention was going to widen it up because I did notice that the road is not big enough for a fire truck to go down, and my parents are in their 60s, so I definitely want the fire truck to be able to get down there. So
Adam, can we make sure that the plan is amended before we approve it to show those widths?
And
That can be a condition, and also, say the condition is to provide an as-built plan, that those are always reviewed by the building commissioner and building inspector and myself.
Thank you.
Still looking for feedback from the police fire.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask for a motion to continue to our next hearing.
John, should we make sure that they know what we want, like the adequate distance and some type of road swale, the adequate width of the road and everything else, and how much of it's going to be paved, all of it? or-
Width of the road will be up to the fire department and police department for their emergency access. Tell us.
That's fair.
And then on the next plan, when they bring it in, they can show the swale, so it's properly done.
With the amended size.
Chairman, may I speak? Is there any way we could just amend the plan and just submit it to Adam?
Nope, can't do it. You have to amend the plan, bring it in. I don't want to send this out for a peer review, so, I mean, with the minor corrections that we have asked for, and when we get the feedback from the police and fire department, like you said, it's going to be your family there now, so you want them protected, so the fire department will probably dictate how wide they need to have that roadway, driveway, whether it be gravel or paved. They're going to tell you how wide they want it to get a fire truck down there. So I'd like to have a motion to continue this until the next meeting.
I'll make that motion to continue this until the next meeting in July.
I'll second it, John.
All those in favor? Todd?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
So, aye, it is a vote. Next on the agenda tonight, 7:05 PM, applicant Modern Structures requesting a special permit under section 5.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a hammerhead lot on 104 Tinker Hill Road, map 59, parcel 5. Would anyone representing the owner, Mr. Pham, here like to?
It's me, sir.
Okay. You want to just go through what you plan on doing here for us, so the
So
public will know?
it's going to be the same thing. The road's going to go down to the hammerhead's going to bear to the right. This lot has 11 acres in it, and it's a proposed well and a proposed septic area. And our intention is, once we get approved, we will apply for a perk test and the septic system.
Well, where the lots are designated now, these are already subdivided and recorded?
No, not yet. It's one big piece in the back, about 30 acres.
Once you actually subdivide these two lots, then you can apply for your perk test, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Designated lot.
Yes.
Does anyone from the public have any comments? Anyone on the board? Don?
Just the same comments and concerns with the width of the driveway and the material of the driveway for fire department access.
Same comments here, looking for comments from the fire department.
Ron?
Same.
Nick?
Same.
Well, instead of carrying on and like we did at the last go-around, I would check your slope, and especially going down along between the two properties here. I know you have I believe this one has a 30-foot wide easement, if I'm not mistaken. That was previously on the recorded plan. So it's another deal where we have to hear back from the fire department, police department, to see how wide they want that drive, because it looks pretty narrow, and that's even longer than the other one, it appears, on the plan. Quite a bit longer. There's no stations on the road, so I can't really tell. And the same thing with the septic system. You need to show a separate reserve septic system location. And I believe that also has to be perked. Both places have to be perked in order to get a building permit. Other than that, I don't really have a problem with it. I just want to make sure that the emergency services are satisfied with the width, and they know they can get in there and help you out if you need help, or your family member. That's all.
Did we open the hearing?
Jesus. Way to go. I have a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make the motion to open the hearing.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 There's a vote. Sorry about that.
My fault.
Oh, my fault. I didn't get it right there. So, stepping back here, I think we're going to have the same comments on this as we did on the first plan, that we want the input from the fire, especially the fire department, because their rigs are big to get it down there in the back, and you are way in the back. I mean, you can't really see your property when you drive by Tinker Hill Road. I see where you put the road, we end up in the upper end, but that's it. You can't really see anything in the back, so it's going to be difficult.
Chairman, that was the whole purpose of buying that land, to stay away.
Privacy, yeah, I don't blame you. It's a beautiful area, beautiful. So I think I'm going to ask for a motion to continue this until we get feedback from the fire department, police department, and the highway department.
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, it is a vote. It will be continued to our July 13th meeting.
Thank you for your time.
I would recommend voting on the viable A&R.
Correct. Next applicant, Eastland Partners.
John,
Definitive subdivision?
you didn't open the first public hearing.
No, I didn't. Do I have to, you want to do that for
Do you
record?
mind?
No. See, now they didn't open the first public hearing. We're going to open it now, the 7 PM one?
Only second one in person in a year, so it's rusty a little
I
bit.
know.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Rusty.
Yeah, it's always The third on the list is which one, this one I don't have to open because it's already open. Correct. Applicant Eastern Partners Incorporated definitive subdivision plan for 3 building lots and construction of a roadway and related infrastructure improvements on property located at 50 and 190 Washington Street, map 34, lot 4, map 27, parcel 14. Is there anyone here representing Eastland Partners?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Board. My name is Steve O'Connell from Turning Point Engineering on behalf of Eastland Partners. Thank you for having us. If I may take a moment to bring the board up to speed since our last meeting, we received a favorable letter of review from Graves Engineering, and I believe Adam heard favorably from the Auburn Fire Captain, Greg Moran, and his endorsement of the most recent design of the subdivision, second means of egress road. We are in receipt of a draft decision furnished by Adam. We didn't have any comments. We had no problems or changes proposed to the draft decision. That being said, we're happy to get into as much of details as you'd like this evening, but I'm happy to review the decision with the board or answer any technical questions about the plans at this point.
Appreciate it, Steve. Is there anyone from the public that may have a comment on this? Or a question? Please stand and state your name and where you live. Yes, please.
Why does that guy carry so much money in his pocket?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. Doreen Goodrich, 5 Lower Winbrook Drive. Welcome everyone back to a live meeting. As an abutter and a resident, and I held meetings, I have to say it's been very difficult to follow these remote meetings for such a large-scale project. And I apologize for missing last week's meeting 2 weeks ago. I thought they were all remote until after the 15th. But having said that, I'm not sure where we're at in the project and whether Eastland Partners will be coming back for further review once they know what's going in, and you have to do site plan approval. But as an abutter and a resident, I'll just bring it to your attention now. I recognize that it's a Route 20 project. It's commercial property, but they also abut close to 200 residents in that 50 Washington Street. Some of those residents have been there, what I've learned, for maybe 54 years. So I just want the board to keep in mind when you're giving the final approval for these projects, be it sound buffers, barriers for site lighting or whatever. There is a huge neighborhood right behind there. One of my concerns
Tuck Farm
also...
Road?
I'm sorry?
Tuck Farm Road?
Well, I'm talking about Winbrook Acres right now, because that's where I reside. I know Tuck Farm is up there as well. And again, Winbrook Acres is on Route 20, and I acknowledge it's commercial property, but those people have been there for, some of them 54 years. So they were residents long before everything was developed. So I just want the board to keep in mind that it is a residential area right there. But one of our biggest concerns right now is the traffic. And if any of you, and I know that Mass DOT, I caught the end of the meeting, Mass DOT is doing a review with turning lanes and stuff, but if any of you travel Route 20 from Thursday afternoon through Sunday at midnight, Route 20 is a nightmare for 3.5 months, because everyone gets off the 146 exit at the Mass Pike, travels down Route 20, and gets back on the Pike at 84. And again, not just where we are, in that whole area, a lot of seniors live there, and I want to be sure that emergency equipment can get there, fire equipment if they need it. I see a lot of ambulances where we are. So I just want the board to not just think of it as a huge commercial development, but just keep in mind that there are a lot of residents who live right behind there.
From what I've seen on this development, it's a big area, but it's not a huge development. It's only going to be 2 or 3 buildings when all's said and done, if I'm not mistaken. Steve, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. The subdivision's going to create 3 lots, primarily on 190. There is remaining land at 50 Washington Street. 50 Washington Street was included in the application because the subdivision road, which occupies a triangular piece of that land west of the power line easement, so legally and technically it's part of the subdivision. The neighbors and abutters will be notified. We will have to come to the planning board for site plan review on each individual lot. You may be aware that we've already submitted a site plan on one of the lots on the 190 parcel, and the same process would happen on anything on the 50 parcel.
I haven't seen any site lot.
I just received that the public hearing notice went to the Telegram today, and then the notices are going to be going out tomorrow to the abutters.
Okay, so by our next meeting, we should be ready to review that.
We'll be notified. There is a
So is that
long way to go.
is that the lot that's closest to the trailer park down there on Route 20?
Nope, this is the lot at the rear of the 190 property, closest
It's
to
way
the
down in
Tuck
the
Farm.
back on the left. That's the one you can't see from Tuck Farm Road.
So you can really-
Sits way down. Yeah. So when we get to the lot that abuts the power easement first, and then it goes to the trailer park, correct?
Right.
So just keep in mind when you do your site plan approval, and I appreciate your comments, Doreen, that maybe we could put a line of arborvitae's down that property line if we're that close and there isn't enough natural fencing there.
Yeah, you've got a very robust landscaping requirement, so we would absolutely meet or exceed that requirement. And
Very good.
my understanding is, I know personally I've been in touch with Winbrook, and I think the applicant has been as well, so we've got lines of communication. We're happy to meet with them to get their input when the time comes, see what's going to be satisfactory to them. We definitely want to respect that they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Been there for a long time.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just one final comment, because Eastland Partners knows this. We've had Eastland Partners before the town, before many, many boards, and one comment that always stands out to me is, at each and every meeting, they say we want to be good neighbors, and I believe that they want to be good neighbors, but I also believe that it's important that these boards have it in writing as to what the expectations are, so that every neighborhood, not just my neighborhood, is protected.
I'm well aware when we have lots going into neighborhoods and stuff, and with the site plan that has to come in, it has to go through us, and it's in writing, it's on a plan, and it has to be registered to the Registry of Deeds before it.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to make these comments finally.
You're welcome, I
live.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone on the board, do you have anything else to present, Steve?
No, Mr. Chairman, just happy to help and discuss aspects of the decision if necessary.
John, you have a question?
I'm just curious, there was a question quite a while back about an encroachment on, that the mobile home park at least already existed and was there for quite a considerable amount of time. Is there anything being done with that?
Not as part of this application. I believe the applicant is still willing to work with the Winbrook folks to deal with that encroachment. Just hasn't.
At one point, it was conditional on getting the sewerage line to run through Winbrook, but I think they decided they did not want to do that.
Yeah, they preferred not to have the sewer come through their property, and then the Auburn Sewer Department preferred that we convey the sewer up onto town's land. That would avoid sewage going
Beyond
through
Route 20.
the siphon under the diversion channel. So, like I said, I know the applicant's still willing to work with Winbrook on that encroachment issue. Again, they're going to be neighbors. Just hasn't. The issue went away when the sewer went away, or took a back seat, rather. But it's still on the table.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Steve?
Yep. Do we know the elevation between parcel 50 and the Winbrook Acres? Is it consistent elevation? I know on Lot 3 with the Tuck Farm Road, we had significant elevation there for a barrier.
Well, 50 Washington Street's property drops off quite a bit from the elevation at Route 20. I would guess that some point in history, Winbrook, when they developed their park, probably brought some fill in, but they're slightly below Route 20, and then they're slightly above a bulk of the property at 50. I would guess, based on some concept plans I've done for the 50 Washington Street property, that we would do some filling there to bring it up, probably even with the Winbrook property. Not quite as even as Route 20, because that would be a lot of fill. But right now, the 50 property is lower than Winbrook, and both are lower than Route 20.
And Lot 50 hasn't been cleared except for that part that is...
Nothing, actually. Nothing's been cleared on 50. Not even the triangle where the subdivision road is going has been cleared.
Okay. And is the intention to keep a significant natural buffer there, or?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing proposed on 50 now other than the subdivision road, which is west of the power line easement. So when something happens at 50, you guys will be the first to know. But yeah, we'll absolutely intend to comply with the landscape buffer. It costs money to clear trees that don't need to be cleared, just to replant. So anything that can be saved, we'll always try to be saved.
Do you have any questions?
Just with the decision through you, Mr. Chairman, to Adam, the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., are those prescribed in the zoning bylaw? I know they're not industry standard.
That's the standard for the town. I already talked to Adam about it. In our previous meeting, we agreed to 7 to 5.
Right, that's...
And then 8 to 12 on Saturdays.
Right, okay. And so that'll be reflected, it will be amended. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ronnie, anything else?
No.
Steve? Nick?
No.
My question is, and our curiosity is, where beyond the siphon are you going to tie in? Obviously, it's going to be toward Route 20 of the siphon chamber. If there's a siphon chamber there should be.
Yeah, so up the Tuck Farm condominium development has a pump station. They pump into this gravity sewer line that runs on that ridge that I believe the Packagug facility also connects to, and then that already runs on the high side of the diversion channel. So when we pump up to that, we'll be gravity on the high side of the diversion channel. Where it goes from there, it must get to the Pinrock pump station, which must pump to
it
Worcester.
comes underneath the channel, comes down Route 20, goes by McDonald's.
Got it.
Then it gets pumped from there to the Upper Blackstone treatment
Right.
plant. Have you gotten an easement from the town yet to connect?
We've done some work in the office, and we're probably a week or 10 days away from talking with town manager's office and Adam on getting on the warrant. But we've spoken a lot with Bill and Joanna, and I know Bill's departed, but with Joanna as well. So yeah, we'll be working with them. And Bill and Joanna said if we agreed to go to that sewer manhole, they'd have our support at town meeting. We'd have their support at town meeting.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve with the... Oh. I'm sorry, go ahead, Doreen.
May I ask one more question?
Sure can. We were in our room, you wouldn't have so far to walk.
This recent conversation refreshed my memory of my last question. So it is my understanding that when they do tie into the town sewerage, it does have to go to town meeting for approval. So town meeting, I believe, unless there's a special town meeting called, and we have multiple items, town meeting won't happen until October. So my question is, if this sewer project has to go before town meeting for approval, how much of this project can move forward without town meeting approval for a sewer easement? Even taking his word at it that it will get support from town administration at town meeting, it's ultimately up to the town meeting members. So I'm just wondering how much of this project can move forward without town meeting approval for a sewer easement to tie in.
Well, without any property buildings being built, which he can't do because he doesn't have a site plan approval, he can do all his roadways, walkways, his tree lining, driveway entrances, the whole 9 yards, except for the buildings, the drainage in the buildings and the site lots, and the lighting. That all has to come before the board.
Okay. But they can start their sewer connections,
He can
hoping
lay all
that
the
they get
sewer line he
town...
wants in his road, he just can't tie in.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep. I'd like to make a motion to approve this pending town approval and the connection for the sewer connection up on the side of Packagug Hill.
Were there other conditions that would need to be met? I forget. I think they addressed everything, but I just want
Yeah,
to...
everything addressed with the Graves letter, and
Okay.
the big thing was that separate fire access road.
I will make a motion to approve this pending town meeting approval for the sewer.
May I have a second?
Close the public hearing.
We're at that particular way. If, say, town
Make a
meeting does not
motion.
approve the sewer easement,
Pending approval from the town. So make a motion, approval of the plan, pending approval of the town's approval of the easement. You can shorten that up. You're good at that,
It
Rich.
will.
As stated.
I will make that motion, John.
Thank you.
I'll second it, as
All those in
stated.
favor?
Aye.
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 John, will you close it too?
What's that?
Close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Thank you,
I'll
Ron.
second it.
close first, then you vote to...
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got to get our sea legs back.
Yes. Now may I have a motion to approve the plan?
I will make that motion with this, as
Previously
presented.
stated. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. We will be back after the appeal period. Well, we'll be back for site plan and
Does
appeal
this have to go
period.
before town meeting or the selectmen to get approval of the,
Yeah, the selectmen will probably put it on the warrant. That'll be our approach.
and when's the next town meeting?
Over.
Okay.
On our camp.
Special meeting is called for,
Yeah.
there's a couple other issues that may be...
So you may have a special meeting prior to October? May.
Depending on what else happens.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Next on the agenda is modification of Midstate Mitsubishi 810 Washington Street. Is there anyone here representing Midstate Mitsubishi?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Mike Hilsinger. I am with Conserve Group. We are architects and builders, and we've been awarded this project. 810 Washington Street is currently an automobile dealership under the ownership of Ray Butler, who's here in the front row with us tonight. He has recently become a Mitsubishi dealer. Previously, he was a used car store. And part and parcel of this dealer agreement is to bring his facility up to the Mitsubishi design standards, which would include a new facade, standard Mitsubishi.
We've heard it
colors
with the
and
other
flavors.
dealers, you got to meet the
It's tough.
manufacturers.
It is, for sure.
Requirements.
No question. So this is a very, unique store. It's a small store by manufacturer's standards, and we have made an effort to incorporate an automobile showroom and a service drive lane, which is more of a drive-in bay due to the nature of the building itself. And what we have done is try to keep that impact as small as possible. So we've taken what is an alcove on the front of the store, for anyone who's familiar with it. The building consists of a pre-engineered metal service center to the right and a wood frame structure on the left, which is set back from the facade of the metal building. And we are going to sort of fill that void with an automobile showroom. We are trading, right now, what is a paved area, 5 or so parking spaces, 4 or 5, and trading pavement for roof, so impervious area stays the same. We lose 5 parking spaces, display spaces that will be replaced with 2 interior display spaces, so the net loss is 3 displays. Parking spaces. Outside of that, the building will be sprinkled now. It's over 7,500 square feet. Mass general law requires that we sprinkle the building. As part of this, Ray had the foresight to have the water line brought in already, so it is there, just awaiting the rest of the sprinkler system. And, we hope you'll find that this is an improvement to the existing condition on the site as it is today.
Through the chair. Adam, can you bring it up?
Thank you, Steve.
John, can we just ask him for a locus so we can kind of know where it is? Whereabouts on Washington it is. I can't picture where it is. Oh, the one that goes up, that's on the left as you...
It's on the right of Appleton. Like you go into
Oh, it's just that little lot right there.
right on the corner there.
That's going to be Mid-State Mitsubishi.
There's like 2 houses over there.
Mid-State Auto's been in town forever. You want to go through the building addition?
Sure. Let's see. Try to stay close to the microphone, too. So, existing building is marked here. You'll see it on the right. The pre-engineered metal building is this section here. Wood frame structure is here. We'll be filling in this. We have still very generous setbacks. We have no issues with setback.
Beyond the required. You well beyond the required setbacks from property lines and road.
Yeah.
My only, well, does anyone from the public have any questions? Comments? Does anyone from the board have any questions or comments? Steve?
Mr. Chairman, I was just wondering, doesn't seem to be any dimensions on the building, and there doesn't seem to be any dimensions showing setback to the side yards. And it doesn't even indicate on the plan what the actual required side yards are.
Have you looked at the application? Have you looked at the plan?
No, I've looked at the plan, sir.
Sit down, please. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what the setbacks are. I know what the setbacks are from the side.
I just asked a question, sir.
It's stated in this application. One more word out of you, I'm going to ask you to leave. Period. And if you don't leave, I'll have the Auburn Police come in and remove you. I'm done with you tonight. Steve, you got a question?
Just wondering, we have to vote on minor modifications, correct?
Yes.
I want to go through all the preliminaries to see what he's going to do.
Yep.
And then I was going to ask a motion to either make it a minor or major modification.
For the addition.
For the
The
addition.
addition.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Todd, any questions?
Just looking at the parking layout, how many accessible parking spaces do you have? Looks like there might be 2 next to the addition.
One is required in this location. So the one on the right side is the accessible space.
And that's van accessible?
Sorry?
That's van accessible, so it has the, okay.
Yes.
Anything else, Steve? Ron?
A lot of these spaces that you show, inventory spaces,
Yes.
they're not parking for customers or employees. They're
Oh, no, yeah, it's an
They're
auto
inventory
dealership, so many of
spaces.
them are, yes, inventory spaces.
Which ones are the employee parking spaces?
Around on the back side of the building.
Thank you.
Which ones are the customer parking spaces?
Customer spaces are here, directly across from the showroom addition.
That's 8 spaces?
Sorry?
8 spaces or the 8
Yes.
and the 11?
There's, here there's 2, 4, 6,
There's 8 there.
8.
Is that enough for a building of this size and?
Yeah, this is,
So many parking spaces per square feet, and off the top of my head, I don't remember what the requirement.
correct. I believe the calculations should be on the sheet that you have there. I'm looking at this, and I don't see them on this one for some reason. I think this was an earlier plan, but the ones that you have should have the calculations in the top right corner, yes?
I don't see
It's on my plan.
calculations are.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah, John.
8 employee parking, 22 for the square footage of the building. Okay.
It's 22 spaces.
I got it.
I'm assuming fire trucks can get in and out of there.
How wide are the bays? You have only one curb cut on Route 20?
I'm sorry, I missed
We
that.
have one curb cut on Route 20?
There's only one curb cut, yes.
So how wide is it between the parking spaces on the right side where a fire truck may come in? Is that the only access to the property from a public road?
That's the only access from the public road. We're making no changes to the layout whatsoever in this space.
But are you reconfiguring any of the parking lot as far as striping?
No, sir. Well, with the exception of the area directly adjacent to the handicap space is moving.
Okay. Just want to make sure there's room for a fire truck to come in the roadway around the right side of your building and all the way around. It looks like there is, but I don't know what the dimension is from that.
Yeah, there was,
It's all paved anyway,
this work
correct?
in the back, I believe, was completed in 2013, was it, Ray? Yeah, but the last project was 2013. So this site was developed and modified in 2013, came before the board and was approved, and everything was, that you see here as it existed at that point.
Send this out for comment, didn't get any comments.
What's that?
I did send this out to all the departments.
What is the width of your entrance road? The immediate driveway off Road 20 looks a hair less wide than the one that's in a little bit.
I honestly didn't measure it because it's been in existence this way and was part of the package that was approved in 2013.
If I'm not mistaken, in order to have that curb cut that you have now, it had to be approved by MassDOT way back when, maybe in 2013, when you reconfigured everything.
Well, it's at least 3 parking spaces wide, and that's 24 plus, so it's the minimum of the 20-foot, 4-foot turning aisle.
Okay, I believe Adam sent this out to the police, fire, and
Building, Board of Health.
we haven't got any comment back, like we're all set, anything?
I thought there was a comment from the Board of Health from the email. Is that not, is that not for this? Darlene Coyle, June 10th, 810 Washington Street, Mid-State Mitsubishi.
Those comments were rectified by, the plan that shows the septic and the sewer
Okay.
and water now on it.
Yeah, you pump out to the sewer main on Route 20, right?
Yes.
I believe.
Yep.
Well, we didn't reconfigure the lot. So the drainage from the new addition, I know you haven't increased the total runoff or impervious area.
Correct.
Where is that drainage going to be interior, exterior?
So what
Basin.
we'll pipe it to the same location it goes to now. So we'll take the groundwater, it turns into roof water, comes down, downspout roof leader, and goes right into the stormwater management system as it did before.
Anybody else have any questions?
I'm just saying, in Darlene's letter, it says the modification proposed shows an addition to the existing building, however, no additional flow is allowed to the current existing septic system. Is the applicant connected, and you are connected to sewer?
Connected to city sewer, yes.
Just connected.
No, it's just,
Got a little pump station in the back. Anyone else have any comments?
no.
John, I just don't know why this is considered a minor modification with
I haven't asked you that yet. That was my next question. We have to decide whether this is a major or minor modification, and I'd like to have the board's opinions on that.
See it.
Todd?
I would defer to the more experienced members of the board in terms of minor versus major.
Steve?
So I think we've had a few questions here that I'd like to see on the plan. I think the measurements being on there would help answer a lot of questions and concerns. And it doesn't seem like a large construction project, but without having all the answers on there, I'd like to see it. I wasn't on the board in 2013.
I believe in their application, it states the setback from Route 20, it states the property line setbacks. It's not on the plan, but it is stated. We can ask to have that put on the plan, yes.
You will find another plan submitted in that packet, I believe. You'll find another plan from a surveyor with all of that information on it.
I did not see that.
I didn't see it either. There's the architect stamp. Architect. I don't think we got a, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think we got a plan with those dimensions on it from a surveyor. All I have is 2 plans stamped by an architect, nothing by RLS.
But there was a surveyor's stamp plan submitted with that.
That's stated in the application.
It's just this piece right here, this addition right here, right? It's shaded part. And all they did was pieces, the parking spaces that were in there.
Correct. I got that, but
It's the survey plan.
yeah, there it is. Right in front of us, Ron. You got it. See, it's on the front page. It's all the dimensions.
It's the 16.
We have it. Yeah, we were looking right through the page. It's the front page.
Thanks.
And that is stamped by an RLS. So, I don't believe this is a major modification to the lot or the site, because it doesn't change the runoff. The impervious area is still the same. He doesn't need to add bathrooms. He doesn't need to add parking spaces. He reconfigured his parking spaces to meet what's required. Could I have a motion to have this designated as a minor modification?
I'll make a motion that we consider it a minor modification.
May I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Todd?
Aye.
Steve?
Abstain.
Ron?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Myself, aye. It is a vote. May I have a motion to approve pending comments from the police, fire, and emergency services?
I'll make a motion that we approve pending the information from the police, fire, and emergency service groups.
May I have a second?
Favorable
Favorable.
recommendations by them.
I'll second it, as stated.
All those in favor? Todd? Ron?
Aye.
Steve, you abstain?
Abstain.
Nick?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote. So as soon as we get a either a positive or we're not concerned, it's fine. And, you know,
Very good. Thank you very much.
well, you got to get a building permit and all that, but I mean, as far as this board's
Thank you.
There's my agenda sheet. Okay, next on the agenda is meeting minutes.
Yes.
And could I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of 5/25/2021 as presented?
Make that motion?
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Todd?
Aye.
Steve? Ron?
Aye.
Nick?
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't here at that meeting.
You didn't watch the video.
And I didn't watch the video.
My vote is an aye. It is a vote.
Connectivity problems.
And there's no unforeseen business by me. Town planner update, ethics.
Ethics, Todd, if you can send us updated ethics.
Yep.
That's all set. Aside from Todd, you're good.
Okay.
I checked with the town.
Anything unforeseen by you?
Nope, I don't know if anybody else has comments from them.
Do we need to review the A&R?
No, you can't. It's not approved yet. We'd be approving an A&R that doesn't exist.
Okay.
So with that in light, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
May I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, it is a vote. Our next meeting is July 13th, 7 PM. Same time, I don't know if it's going to be in this room or not. We'll find out.
I'll see.